Deno 2 is fully backwards compatible with Node and NPM, allowing you to use any of your preferred JavaScript frameworks. On top of that, Deno not only improves the dev experience, but will also give you the best performance possible. Let's see how easy it is to build web apps with Deno by pairing it with one of the simplest yet performant web frameworks. Solid.js is a declarative JavaScript library for creating user interfaces that emphasizes fine-grained reactivity and minimal overhead. When combined with Deno's modern runtime environment that includes a complete toolchain, native TypeScript, and web standard API support, you get a powerful performance stack for building web applications. We'll start by setting up our Solid.js application using Vite. If you are not familiar with it, Vite is a modern build tool that provides an excellent development experience with features like hot module replacement and optimized builds. For the backend, we'll use Hono, which can be installed via JSR. At this point, our Deno.json should contain the usual development tasks and all the necessary dependencies. On top of that, we'll update our compiler options to support Solid and JSX. We are building a simple dinosaur catalog, so for the backend we'll create two files under the API directory. First, we'll add some dinosaur data in a data.json file. Of course, in bigger applications, data can be stored in one of the many databases supported by Deno. Then, we'll define our server in the main.ts file. The Hono instance will listen to a few incoming GET requests. Most importantly, the client can retrieve a specific dinosaur by a name passed as a path variable or retrieve all dinosaurs at once. We'll start the server at the 8000 port using the Deno taskdev command. Before we start building out the front end, we also need to update our Vite config file and define a server proxy which informs our Solid.js frontend where to locate the API endpoints. For the web app, we'll first define the Deno type to ensure type safety throughout our application. Now, it's finally the time to build our first Solid component. This is a plain JavaScript function that handles internal state via signals, exposes lifecycle methods which are executed at specific times, and returns JSX, which is a convenient way to mix HTML markup with dynamic content. Once the component is mounted in the DOM, we'll perform a fetch call to the server and populate the dinosaur signal. In the template area, we'll iterate over the list of dinosaurs and display a navigation link pointing to a dinosaur details page. Note that the link is actually a special Solid router component that handles client-side navigation, preventing full-page reloads. In the dinosaurs page, we see Solid's dynamic routing in action thanks to the useParams hook. This component follows a similar pattern to the index page, using signals for state management and onMount for data fetching, but focuses on a single dinosaur's details. Note that when accessing signal values in templates, you need to call them as functions, which might be a bit misleading at first. To tie it all together, we'll update the app.tsx file, which will serve both the index and dinosaur pages as components. The app component sets up our routing configuration using the Solid.js router, defining two main paths: the index route for our dinosaur list and a dynamic route for individual dinosaur pages. The selected dinosaur parameter in the route path creates a dynamic segment that matches any dinosaur name in the URL. Finally, this app component will be called from our main index. The entry point of our application mounts the app component to the DOM using Solid.js's render function. It includes a safety check to ensure the root element exists before attempting to render, providing better error handling during initialization. Now, you can build and run a Solid.js app with Deno, and you have a good foundation to extend your app with more functionality and database support. You can find out more about Deno in some of our other videos, and until next time, thank you for watching.